we get to be a little bit mystical and a little bit sciences here, human sciences. I'm trauma-informed, somatic-informed, attachment-informed, educational certificates, but my degrees are in a whole different field. However, it's all social sciences and humanities, so being a person, and I'm a person. And on that note, for my 5D mystics, because I do talk to you primarily, since I'm woo lady, for those who are primarily only the left mode brain thinkers, which they don't believe in us and our clairs, and we don't need to be believed in though, because we actually have knowledge and communication from not necessarily up there or around us really. It's more of, I'm educated, physics, and in fact I still need to read my existential physics from Sabine, who explains a lot of things. Like one of them is why some people, and this was where I shouldn't share it because it's her story, but let's just put it this way. She got asked a question by somebody who got shared and told by a medium about their grandma, saying that they're here only because of quantum physics. And if you learn anything about quantum physics, even just the gist of it, or particle, I think it is, that's where you understand why the 12 dimensions. So as a mystic here, I have had plenty of time to bring all of my dimensions back together. And every time I woke up, I didn't get lost. I didn't be like, oh no, where am I? And in fact, I did not do what 4D does, which is stay in the land of illusions. So 4D stays in the land of illusions though, because what I've been able to notice, 2006, it's 2023. Yeah, it's a long time. They use stories. So they use all of the stories from ancient texts to esotericism, metaphysics, and bringing all in between, which is also why they're talking about AI as a demon. And people who are actually grown-ups. I'm 43 and I'm still surprised to see women, men, they be possessive, jealous, which means you have, yes, maybe culturally, but if you know what those two emotions actually indicate, it's called low self-esteem, because your attachment system is in overdrive, besides the cultural part, which I get it because you're taught, like we're in a mononormative world, so polyamory seems weird to people, but what seems weird to me is telling me that I can only love one person when I love all ever since as a kid. Oh, let me start. Those who don't have developmental trauma, so our brain was not affected, and therefore our hippocampus was not compromised in its growth, our prefrontal cortex was not compromised in its growth. What else? The connectome and interconnected connectome. It's neuroscience language, and I got to get it translated by Daniel Siegel. I learned about the mind, the brain, and relationships in my interpersonal neurobiology course, IPNB. My recent one on disorganized attachment and DID, which is healable, although he has colleagues who actually have sarcasm and ways of basically being, even though they might be within the sciences, they're not sciences. Science is not religion, and religion is not science. And in fact, any ancient text thrown in the book in the face of people, really, again, how old are you? The question of how old is because I have a 3-year-old whole heart though. Let me finish. So when you don't have developmental trauma or attachment wounds or ruptures, I'm a securely attached human being. I was held in a way where I got a third attunement and I got repair of rupture. So my mother, which is my primary caregiver, knew how to make up for when I was cold and she didn't warm me up or feed me and didn't feed me or whatever it is, anything, it doesn't matter. She did the ideal. Oh, but I forgot, we also have drivers. So I am a self-agency drive, which is dominant of anger, and nobody would know any better, but when they see me behaving with my mother and my twin, they will see something different, and that's where I'm still working very much with a lot of patience to get my 3-year-old, because our first 3 years of life were implicit memory. Okay, so why all of this for my lovely regular listeners? Because that way you can understand where you stand. So if you are a person who has secure attachment, no developmental trauma, no attachment, again, wounds or ruptures. You also didn't go as a teenager saying, oh no, they lied to me and I don't trust anybody ever again. I have a beautiful story my regular listeners know about. As a teenager, yeah, I didn't finish that relationship and be like, Now I will never, ever, ever have a best friend again. I will never, ever have a person that I can trust. No, none of that happened. I was like, wow, I've been given a gift of freedom. I was left by somebody and we had a good time, and they're now with somebody they're happy with. And I learned a lot, which was something that I never unlearned, meaning teenagers grew up, and all those teenagers that lied and hid, and I see a lot of grown-ups. Yeah, they're called what I call 3-year-old broken hearts, but they don't have necessarily developmental trauma or insecure attachment. No, they have these trust breaks from when they were teenagers, and they began telling stories, kind of like when I began being in my online marketing community, where they were competing with who could drink more coffee and sleep less. And I'm thinking, wow, does anybody care about their well-being? I think you're going to have a nervous breakdown at some point, because you're treating your body like, I don't even know, how old are you again? Because it makes me think of teenagers who are comparing and competing each other, but they have low self-esteem, because that's what it means to be a teenager. You're going to grow up to learn healthy self-worth. Guess nobody learned somehow. Yeah, I wondered about that. Thank you, Bezel Vanderkolk, Stephen Porges, Peter Levine, all the team. And wait, I'm thinking there's one more guy. I don't know his name, but he explains how we have not only the attachment system, so your caregivers in your household, and that's your lifeline. When you move into being a teenager, you're going to shed what you don't need anymore from your brain. I forget what it's called, but we have like a pruning process. Thank you, Daniel Siegel. Yes, so in that pruning process, we then look to our peers to go and attach to them. I learned my peers were not reliable. I didn't attach to anyone. I just learned to say, okay, I can handle my thoughts and emotions, and I can keep loving, and I will keep loving. I'm going to keep my heart open, because why would I close it? You don't know how to love, not the other way around. I know exactly how to love, how to be reliable, consistent, how to speak my words and mean it, how to maintain alignment. Oh yes, Purusha Prakriti. So many people, they do yoga, and they even quote Sadhguru, and I see them not hugging their neighbor. And yes, they don't know what it means to be a compassionate human being, even though apparently they think that they are anointed and enlightened because they're doing something. What they don't know is that yoga helps you, like mindfulness, meditation, anything within those realms, to build your prefrontal cortex, grow your prefrontal cortex, grow your hippocampus, grow your connectomes, and grow the one corpus callosum. That's what I keep forgetting, which connects your left and right modes. So on that note, a healthy self-worth person knows easily how to love oneself first. In fact, it's not even a question, because if you come and plug my nose, I'm going to get you away from me. And if you do anything that remotely, closely hurts my heart, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to learn that one, and I'm going to keep it in my mind. But I didn't have a trust break. I learned something about you. You don't know how to be loving. That makes me think. That's what a 5D mystic thinks. Let's see. Are we all the same energy? Yes, 4D somehow they get lost because they're special. No, because they don't have a whole 3-year-old heart who says we're all special. They need clairs to feel special. And really, when you look closely, what you have are people who want bystanders to come together, rally up, and then shame. We got our non-disciples. We got our people who are talking a big talk, and they're using clairs without really knowing that their amygdala is all over it, because when they have direct eye contact, for those who have lingering trauma memory, what is alerted is the midline of their brain, not the higher functioning. Those of us who don't have trauma in our brain lingering, because we process emotions and the events that take place. And again, some of us got lucky. I got held with equanimity. I didn't get cheered on. I didn't get, let me explain it to you. And then if you don't understand it, eventually when it's needed, I will spank you. And I grew up to learn how to be respectful. Watch that tone, be nice, okay, fine. But I got to be a little rowdy at home, which is why I get told I should have spanked you more. Okay, so when a person's an actual grown-up, we respect people with our eyes, because we know what it means to be imperfect and flawed in the absence of a trust break of ourselves. We're not defective. Those who have developmental trauma, they feel defective and a lot more. Those who have attachment wounds as well, the ones who chose to be teenagers and grow up and be teenagers, that's to me a very different story, because they can easily learn how to navigate their ventral vagal state, return home to their restorative embodied self, and integrate their brain. The people who want more support, they're healing with good therapists, and they need people that know how to say, you know what, you're right, we all fuck up, come on over, let's be friends, shall we? because that's how we heal trauma together, not the 4D way, which is cancel people, energy vampires, dark auras, AI, technology, sciences, oh no, and not we see the sciences people who tease us. That's not nice either. But tune in for more and have a great day.